All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on my channel. It has been a few days since the last one, so I apologize about that. I've honestly just been pretty busy with other stuff and taking a little bit of a break from this channel. As you guys know, I do upload every single day on my other channel, which is called Zoid Gambles. It's linked down below in the description if you want to check it out, but 18 plus for that because it is gambling content. But yeah, let's get into the main topic of today's video. So the title might be something like Hcf is back or Hcf is coming back, something with Hcf. So it actually has two meanings. So number one, the first one, which is very easy to explain, is the beta release of our 1.20 kit map for Viper is taking place this Saturday. I think we're actually releasing it at literally like midnight. It's going to be a full just 24-hour beta for high roller only access on Viper. Okay, like I said, it's going to be a very secluded exclusive beta because we're not trying to like market this or anything as anything crazy. We honestly just want to open it up and see if there's any immediate issues that need attention before the official release, which should take place on, I believe, the 30th. Yeah, 30th of September, Saturday, and I believe this is all announced in the Viper Discord. So I just wanted to mention that now because, yeah, Hcf is making a return to the channel in the format of 1.20 Minecraft. The second thing is actually has to do with the upcoming Minecadia map, which is releasing tomorrow, Friday, September 22nd at 5 p.m. EST. So this video is just going to be covering all the changes that you guys can expect for this upcoming map. So number one, 15-man factions, 0 allies, 0 truces, infinite roster, 4-week-long map. There is a 2-week-long TNT grace period as usual, but there's also a 1-week-long warp road grace period, which will be explained later. That is a brand new feature. Next, there is a full punishment reset taking place. It'll probably take place shortly after this video goes up, or like tonight or something like that, where all bans and blacklists except chargeback will be wiped and you guys can log on and have another chance with Minecadia. Next thing is that Expeditions is making a return to Minecadia, so you guys can check that out again. Adventures will be vaulted. I know a lot of players wanted to see Expeditions back again, so we're bringing it back for you guys with the old loot tables. Since the solo dungeon, the temple run, was an adventures feature, we disconnected it from adventures and it's now just going to be in the war zone and anybody can run it as long as they have the key. You don't have like a level requirement or anything like that. It's just going to be a solo dungeon that you can run if you have the key. Economy changes. Last map, a bunch of players, like literally for maps and maps and maps, players wanted realistic buyback times, which we did, but obviously that's going to inflate the economy so much, so people were complaining about that, so we made a slight change to kind of halt the economy by 50%, which is by increasing the buy prices of all these spawners by 2x. A new concept called superior weapons has been introduced to Minecadia, so it's a free-to-play obtainable methods only, like loot bags, events, stuff like that. So these unique weapons come in the form of either a sharpness 6 diamond sword or diamond axe. Upon receiving the weapon, you can right-click it to give it a random set of 11 custom enchants, so 1 over the maximum custom enchants, and these custom enchants come in their maximum level +1. Also, they will always be given with Rage and Silence, so there's really only 9 random custom enchants, but that means that, for example, you'll get Rage, and instead of it being Rage 6, which is normally the maximum, it'll be Rage 7. These weapons can't be black scrolled, and yeah, so that's kind of a cool concept that players can use. Obviously, these can be made heroic. They don't have an armor set attached to them, but they can be made heroic, and you can technically get a really, really good sword with all +1 enchants if you get lucky enough, and obviously 11 lore. Okay, moving on to what the title has to do with. We are introducing a new planet on Minecadia factions called Warp Road. You can see I'm at it right now. So the concept of this is literally that this is pretty much an HCF map. So we are bringing an HCF world onto Minecadia factions that has a certain amount of benefits and incentives to actually participating and building a base here. So the Warp Road will open on Saturday at 5 p.m. EST, not the day of Start of the World, so that people have like a full 24 hours from when the server opens to actually get ready for this to open. So Warp Road is a new world similar to HCF on Minecadia, intended to provide an experience that combines key elements from HCF and Rust. So there's a spawn claim, there's roads going in every direction, there's a smaller map border that's about 1.5k down each side, there's events in every quadrant, there is DTR that takes place or that exists in this world, so your claim in this world can go raidable if you die in this world a super large amount of times. Well, not a super large amount of times, but obviously just the DTR system. Maximum DTR is based on faction size, DTR is only lost if you die in this world, and then DTR freeze exists and it's 45 minutes long. So the incentives of building here, there's going to be competitive events here, so obviously you're going to want to have a base here if you want to contest those events, because you're going to have to be kiting to and from to get pots and stuff like that. There's also double spawner value 2F top in this world. There's double PvP points in this world. There's a treasure island. There's envoys here. There's a stronghold here. There's an outpost that affects this world. And there is a citadel in this world. There's also COTS, DTC, a hardpoint, and a revamped capture the flag. There are a lot of restrictions that help cultivate HCF playstyle, such as TNT being disabled at all times. There's no fly, player vaults, teleporting, /back, ender chest, F chest, pots, printer, or slash pots, chunk busters, gen buckets, regen buckets, creeper eggs, etc. It's going to be like an HCF playstyle. Factions will be able to claim a maximum of 9 chunks. So if I do F3 and G, you can see 9 chunks is a size of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the maximum claim from here to here, and you can start claiming past 750 blocks in every direction. When a claim is made for the first time, you will have to place down your faction core. Okay, so this actually is where it ties into the rust stuff and the force rating. Your core is important where you place it because it needs to be defended with blocks and stuff like that. But you can change its position, but once you change it, if you actually pick up your core, you're actually set rateable until you place the core back down. And there is a 24-hour cooldown of moving your core, because we don't want players just moving their core randomly and stuff like that. There's also restrictions on where you can place it based on Y values from 60 to 100. You can access /shop in this world. You can do F road home as well. You can set your road home like this, F set road home or something like that. And then you can teleport to your road home by warping to road and then doing F road home. But yeah, now to explain the rust side of things. So we're adding a certain type of rating that doesn't have to do with DTR, because we don't want players just taking advantage of the incentives of Warp Road without having any risk. Like, for example, players could just place a bunch of spawners in their Warp Road claim and get double F top value, but literally never leave their base and ever have a chance of going raidable. So we have to add some sort of force rating, which is where we're adding the rust style rating through the use of crowbars. So crowbars can be used on any faction claim to pretty much break a block, okay? And it'll start a process. You right click the block, it'll be a 1-minute timer, and the user of the crowbar has to be within 10 blocks of the block that's breaking for the timer to go down. Once the timer reaches 0, then it breaks the block. Once you use a crowbar on a faction, you're actually officially starting a raid on that faction, and that means that this faction can no longer place or break any blocks, and their whole focus must be to defend the base, okay? This will actually alert them and stuff like that. And also keep in mind, this takes place only after the Warp Road grace period that I mentioned earlier, which is 1 week long. So the main goal of the raiders is to use these crowbars and to stay in the radius of the blocks being broken and stuff like that. By the way, only 3 crowbars can be used against a faction at one time, obviously by the same faction. Only one faction can raid a faction at a time. And their goal is to reach the core, because if they can reach the core, they can right click it and set them raidable, and that means they can access all their spawners, their chests, everything like that. And it kind of serves as like an HCF going raidable. Like, they're going to be in DTR freeze, they'll be negative DTR until they regenerate. So there is a hologram by the block that you're breaking. Every block that is being broken has a 3-minute expiration time. So if you can't successfully break the block in 3 minutes, then the crowbar process cancels. And what this matters to is actually because raid timers are 10 minutes long. So when you start a raid on somebody with a crowbar, you have a 10-minute period to actually successfully raid them. But if you successfully break a block with a crowbar, that timer goes back up to 10 minutes. So that means to defend yourself from a raid, you have to stop the raiders from being able to break a block for 10 minutes, and that will stop the raid, put you on an immunity. They won't be able to raid you for like another 3 hours and all that sort of good stuff. Also, faction shields do work in this world, so it will align with the faction shield you have set, and that means that while you're on shield, nobody can crowbar you and nobody can raid you through your core. There's a bunch of other like small specifics, like if the user of the crowbar dies, it cancels that crowbar process immediately. Obviously, a player can only crowbar once at a time for a maximum of 3 per faction. And for some miscellaneous features of the road, obviously when you mine someone else's spawners, you won't be charged money for them as if you were mining your own spawners. Lazy brewers have been introduced to this, so you can brew pots in your own claim very easily. Players can do /spawn to return to the normal world, and if there's no enemies nearby you, it'll be instant. Otherwise, it'll be a long timer. Road home coordinates will be located in FWHO. F-road home timer in enemy claims is 20 seconds, and then in wilderness it's 10 seconds, and then combat tag is extended to 30 seconds in this world. There is a stronghold that exists in this world that players can capture for benefits. The benefits of them will be visible on Start of the World by typing /strongholds. There is an outpost that will actually be capturable that gives you benefits in the road world. And then there's also a road citadel, which will be manually hosting, since we obviously have the automatic citadel that takes place in end, but the road citadel will be pretty interesting. So I tried to skim over that as quick as possible. If you guys are a little confused on certain things, go check out the Discord, actually the announcement channel. We posted the full breakdown of the feature there, and you guys can kind of get a feel of what's going on there. But yeah, the final notes I gotta say about it is obviously it's a complex idea, but I think it can be really fun if done properly. So I guess just bear with us, try out the feature, and if there's things that need to be changed, fixed, added, we can actually do that, make the experience better. But eventually I'm seeing this like potentially turning into like a Rust styled game mode, I guess world, where like you can get higher tier defensive blocks, and like, you know, if you're raiding those blocks, it's like a longer crowbar period. But yeah, we just need to iron out how well the playstyle experience is, make sure it's incentivizing to actually build a base here. I think it'll be pretty fun because it's literally like playing HCF with Minecadia gear. The fund is the same as last map, which again, you can find this in the announcements on the Discord channel. Planetary Deathbringer has been unvaulted. Godly Health Boost has been unvaulted. The Shark Pet has been vaulted. The Hellhound Pet has been unvaulted. Lucky Mask has been vaulted. Santa Mask has been vaulted. Jokester has been buffed by adding Enforcer 5 and removing Jewels 5. The Deuce changes have been reverted. Star items, Blindfold now sees through the Mirage enchant. I believe it's an enchant. Balloons, vaulted the Pokeball Balloon, unvaulted the Birthday Balloon. Then armor sets, Venture set has been vaulted, Fortune set has been unvaulted, Leviathan set has been unvaulted. There can now only be one active Bard set in a faction at a time. Colossal Shooter ability has been nerfed. The Koth armor ability has been revamped to actually give Spectral, which is a chance of temporary invisibility and invincibility. Pet Stake will now grant a random number of levels between 1 and 3 instead of always giving 1 like it used to. Raid Outpost rewards has been buffed, so it'll now give a 1.3x cell boost when captured, 5% outgoing damage, negative 25% soul usage, $30 million every 30 minutes with 16 lucky creeper eggs and 16 creeper spawners, and then a $100 million bonus every 3 hours, and then a full unenchanted Koth set every 24 hours of consistent capture. So you got to hold it for a super long time and you do get rewarded like that. Gen buckets have been changed slightly. I'm not going to go over it too much, but you can check that out in the announcements. Actually, I will. I guess 256x blocks horizontally instead of 64. There's also patching gen buckets, which will now like go through blocks and keep patching, which is good. And then also to stop these gen buckets from going, all you got to do is like click on the block that it last gen or right click on them. And then the last thing we have written down is the notification chunks, which are pretty much notifications that you're getting raided. The specifics of these aren't yet released, but pretty much it'll be like if you get raided or someone starts a raid timer on you, you will be alerted of the raid after a delay. And then what you can do is actually upgrade in F upgrades to shorten that delay. For example, let's just say like on the default level, you get alerted 5 minutes after the raid starts, but on the maximum level, you get alerted 30 seconds after. Obviously, that's not the real numbers, but it's just a theoretical example for you guys to understand. Okay, so I quickly went over everything, but again, if you want to check all this stuff out, check out the announcements channel in Discord. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what this HCF world will do on Minecadia, and I'm also super excited for the 1.20 to finally come to life with the HCF on Viper, and I will be uploading obviously the beta map, the actual kit map when it comes out, and then obviously HCF when it comes out, and I'm very excited to release the details on how HCF is going to be. But yeah, guys, for now, check out the Minecadia release again, unblacklist all, unban all, and we will see you guys on for the release at 5 p.m. EST tomorrow. Peace out.